I kind of became aware that there was like some phenomena over here. But I kept thinking like, well, maybe it's going to have a natural explanation. And I'm looking for more like the objects that come down with intent and everything else. One of the things that we're struggling with is to really understand what are the triggers to this phenomenon. They would talk about the fact that these are year-round, but they were talking about them being that in the warmer months they tend to be smaller, they need white, or they might have red color objects that are small, and they would talk about them being high energy, that they would move quicker and stuff like that, and that they would be larger, like about maybe 8 foot in diameter or something of that nature. Curious oddity here is like, how did I come to Cloverdale? And the situation here was that because I was the state director for Alabama, right? I was getting reports of these strange lights over in the Florence area, and these particular areas, and I was going like, well, what is this about? There was one of the witnesses that we've talked with, the Crunk family, and they had a UFO report that they filed with Mutual UFO Network. So I kind of became aware that there was like some phenomena over here. And then at one point, I think, Wyatt contacted me, and this was like many, many years ago, trying to also find out if I had an interest in this thing. And at that time, I had a rudimentary interest in it. But I kept thinking like, well, maybe it's going to have a natural explanation, and I'm looking for more like the objects that come down with intent and everything else, as opposed to a glowing ball of plasma or something of that nature. But I became more and more intrigued over a period of time, and I run a meeting that happens on a monthly basis over in Huntsville, so I invited Wyatt to come over and do a presentation. And so he came over from North Carolina, drove over, brought his book with it, and shared that with us, and we said, okay, sounds pretty interesting, and he had time-lapse photos of an object moving across the sky, and then I started reading his book, and I think the thing that I caught from even that was, number one, we're talking about a phenomenon that goes back like as early as 1973 in this area, and it's repeating. It's a repeatable event. So, and then Wyatt and Greg, his partner, who were coming out here many nights, did a good job of documenting what time, the dates, and so I thought, well, that's good. He's actually documenting this stuff. We could look at weather. We might be able to learn what's causing this thing. And so I just told my SCU partners that I was going to set up a project and have that project be that we come out and take a look at this particular phenomena. I had already met with Erling Strand from Hesselen. In fact, I did a presentation for MUFON in Orlando on the Aguadilla case. And so I met with Erling. I met with other people who have studied the Brown Mountain lights. I've contacted people who are doing the Marfa lights. So I'm thinking like, wow, they all sound very familiar and very similar to what Wyatt wrote about. So I said, we're getting a team come out here and we're going to check it out. And so we did that last year. We started, and the weather wasn't too cooperative on a lot of these different things. And then plus, Wyatt was driving 8 hours to get here. It was like, hard to get him here. And then the nature of this whole area is that, that this is all farmland. So it's not like public property. So you have to work with getting with people to say, hey, can we come on your property? Can we fly drones? Can we bring cameras? Can we invade your place to be able to do this? And so that's where we've been. We've been trying to get that, and we've got great support with, of course, Larry and a couple others to allow us to be here. There's all these different factors which we have to look at. What variables bring this into play? Why is it that I come to this area? Now, there's lines over in Huntsville, okay? There's nothing. On the way here, I kept, thinking about the fact that I'm going through all these farmlands. Why are there no reports over here? Why is it that I'm coming over this one area of Cloverdale?
So, but look at how it lights up. Let me go back here. So in 2 frames, it's lit up. I'm just toggling back and forth. I'll just toggle. See that? People have said, oh, maybe it's electrical wire arcing or something. This is a phone line, low voltage phone line. The electrical lines are over in the field here. We don't know, but it's one tree that lights up bright, and all the other trees in the background light up a little bit.
From what I've seen in terms of what you've captured over the period of 2 weeks, we're not talking about the ball that's 8 foot in diameter that's moving across the sky, right?
The typical Cloverdale lights.
Yeah, the typical Cloverdale, the things that we come out here and we look at. We're not seeing that ball. However, what we're seeing is potentially something that might be related to either its creation or its continuity or continuance, or something of that nature, which we have to spend time and really figure out, right? What caused that orb to come up? Why is it in that field over there? That's a cotton field. Is there something? Why there? Is it the power lines? Do the power lines play in? I mean, telephone lines. Do they? And we know that we've had many reports of objects that come down lines, and then detach from the line, and people see them and report them. Right. And they will actually knock out power on the car and stuff like that.
I've heard that too.
So you have that kind of thing going on as well. So, but here we have, the instance where Rob, for example, sees on 2 occasions in the same 24-hour period, instances where some trees right where we are magically light up.
Right.
Like a huge Christmas tree. It's almost like a spotlight
but only
came
on
in.
one side of the tree.
And only on one side of the tree. And, you say, well, okay, there's a full moon. But wait a minute. There wasn't a full moon on the previous night at about after midnight, and that didn't work out.
Have the same effect, yeah.
And then you see that it's not just those trees. He's got other video showing that there was another clump of trees about maybe a quarter mile away from here that also lit up simultaneously with those lights.
Right.
So now we're talking about something way different than those 8 balls of light, or the 8 foot in diameter balls of light. We're talking about something else.